Hey, what's up, guys? Lamar's back. It's been a long time coming. Igor's here. Sorry, I got to interrupt you. I'm gonna get right into it. I have a question for Igor. Igor, do you have a problem? What's your thoughts on this Brooklyn Nets thing?
My thoughts on this Brooklyn Nets thing in
Yeah.
terms of.
Do you feel like they're trying to trying to gather forces so they can beat LeBron because he's so great and powerful?
Absolutely.
Okay, can you continue?
Well, I mean,
I'm about to shred you to
the
pieces.
situation, and again, based off of last year, I mean, the Lakers are the defending champions. Again, you have a situation where Kevin Durant and Kyrie signed with Brooklyn, and then the situation is that James Harden and didn't feel that there was going to be much left to do in Houston. And now you look at Aldridge, you look at Blake Griffin, guys that Aldridge is 35 looking for a ring. Blake Griffin, hobbled individual that hasn't been the same for years on end. So they end up forming a somewhat of a Monstars type situation, like it's Space Jam 2 at the end of the day. Like I said, is it to beat LeBron? You got to get through the East teams first, but I mean, if you were to look at one individual that's definitely been reigning over the league for a good portion of it, it's probably been LeBron. Well, I mean, every time LeBron's made the playoffs in the last few years, he's always in the finals, so that would actually.
How many years in a row did he go to the finals?
So I mean, he didn't go with the Lakers that first year because.
So let's skip that 1 year. Let's say it's in a row. Let's skip the 1 year that he failed.
I guess it's
8 of 9,
8 of 9, 9 out of 10.
So 10 years in a row.
9-10 years, pretty much. Yeah.
So 10 years in a row, and he has 4 rings, right? That's reigning over the tyranny.
Well, I mean,
losing more than you won.
I wouldn't say reigning over in a sense, but again, making the finals.
I'm just quoting the words that came out of your mouth.
Well, here's the thing: if someone makes the finals 10 times or 9 out of 10 years,
you're okay when you lose. That's
pretty good.
That's like going to someone's house for candy
Okay.
on Halloween. I'm not scared. I'm getting my treat. So
Well,
you're giving people rings all over the place. So how is it a problem?
So
that he's going to the
hold
finals?
on a second.
Yes,
Now, again, the Warriors lose to LeBron in the situation. Draymond Green goes crying into the parking lot. Calls Kevin Durant, we need you over here because we can't deal with LeBron. And that's the story.
Is it my goal?
At the end of the day, that to me is that they needed help to stop LeBron. Now, I mean, well, why did a team that was stacked already need another superstar to try to take a situation?
LeBron does it all the time. Let's go.
But to answer your question, I mean, you would think it's. I don't think anyone else in the East was getting that loaded up. Did they need Harden?
No.
Harden wanted to be there, right? At the end of the day.
I
see what happens. I've already been on with Jay in terms of this, and I still think that while they have a lot of talent, which is without question, I still think that at the end of the day, there's going to be some chemistry issues.
You're hugging the mic, though.
Don't
ask him a question. He just
started.
That's what LeBron fans do. They think if they talk a lot, they can confuse you by not answering. I asked you a question that Joe can go. Did they think in their mind, as Harden, Blake, Aldridge are saying, okay, I got to go there because we can't beat LeBron if I don't? Did they stack up this team to beat LeBron because he's so dominant? That's all I want to hear, yes or no?
I would say so.
Thank you.
Yes.
I
would say yes.
With that, I was going to say, would the question be, is it because Brooklyn has the best chance to win, or is it because they're trying to beat LeBron?
Like I said, it's a situation, and I don't want to hog the mic, as was said.
You have to.
I basically think, at the end of the day, you look at guys that, all in all, we've come and we've had this discussion. Harden's been a problem. Harden hasn't had a great playoff reputation. Kyrie by himself as a number one guy has not been great. Durant, realistically, has only got accolades, and again, to me, a lot of people didn't say that those Golden State teams were his because they were already stacked before he got there. So if you look at those situations, it's guys coming together that have either not been happy with their situations or that haven't been considered leading men in their situations. So you look at that.
Hasn't been considered a leading man.
No, because if you talk to people from Golden State, first of all,
he won the Finals MVP.
But even OKC.
Okay, but so did Andre Iguodala.
No, it doesn't mean that. No.
Was Kevin Durant the best?
Who's the leading force on Golden State? The guy who doesn't have a Finals MVP? You see, like the same things, they don't like to back it up. But I got you today.
But if you hear anybody off of Golden State, you'll see that that's always been Steph Curry's team. and Durant added to the team. He's a great player. I'm not gonna say that Durant isn't the best player or wasn't the best player, but at the end of the day, that was already a stacked team that had broken both records. You know, your boy Michael.
The regular season.
Regular season, they lost to LeBron. They added, and again, it's unprecedented maneuvers. When a team is that stacked in terms of win, and they get a bigger superstar. But there was always that aura that it was always Steph's team. It wasn't Kid.
It is Steph's team. He's the heart. He's going.
And that's my point. And that's why
And the Spurs are Duncan's team, but Kawhi was better than him and got Finals MVP. Who cares? It will never not be Duncan's team. It will never not.
Duncan also did it without Kawhi.
What's that?
But with David Robinson.
No, but what is that? What's your?
My point is that Durant has always been in a situation where he's joined.
Did Curry win Finals MVP? He did.
I was going to say, but I was going to hold on. So Curry.
No, hold on.
How many rings does Curry have?
So Curry, they ended up winning that one series where LeBron ended up last.
They lost to Tyronn Lue in 2016. So they won 15, they won 17, they won 18.
Yeah.
So they have 3 rings.
Yeah.
So they're 3 and 5. They lost to Toronto and they lost to
two of those
were matter. The point is that you're saying that he won without. So what? Curry won, Duncan won, Kawhi came, they won, got Finals MVP, was the best player. Durant came, he got 2 back-to-back Finals MVP and was the best player. Of course, it's always going to be Curry's team. He's the heart of Golden State. The
whole point of Durant, for example, Durant easily could have stayed in Golden State if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He left because he wanted to prove to people that he wanted to be the lead dog. Now he joins Kyrie in Brooklyn, and that's fine. Kyrie's, I think, come to the realization because, whether it's injuries or whatever it ends up being, that he needs that sort of support their buddies. I didn't even really say anything about that move because that's completely on their doing, and that's perfectly fine by me. Now the hardest situation to me was
it's like
cowardice.
Igor,
cowardice.
I've allowed you to, I don't know how much you want to say. I don't understand everybody.
That's your point.
But I've never seen this much talking. I'm asked a basic question. We'll go to the other players later. Let's just talk about
I'm going to put some time on the clock. When we start that.
What's your take?
I'm going to tell you this. The take that I can't stand, and we were here on the show when Igor used to make a fool of himself with a lot of other LeBron witnesses where they said that LeBron is going up against 4 Hall of Famers. Draymond going to Hall of Fame still?
Well, I mean,
is Draymond Green going to the Hall of Fame? He won't even make it to the All-Star team, but I want the people to hear you make a fool of yourself.
At that point,
is Draymond Green going to the Hall of Fame?
At this point,
okay,
it's probably touch and go at this point.
Pay attention, everybody. So I'm gonna break you down. I'm gonna let them. You're gonna break you down. You're gonna do it yourself. I'm gonna go.
You guys are both lawyers now. You present your case.
He's already burying himself. I'm just hearing it. So the same way they tried to elevate, now they're here trying to elevate Brooklyn. Now let's make sure we're clear. When everyone used to go to LeBron and stock, it's they couldn't win where they were. Kevin Love couldn't win in Minnesota. All these Bosh couldn't win anything, and they have to come to LeBron to win. So when superstars go to LeBron, it's because they want to win. And when they don't choose LeBron, it's because they can't beat him because he's so good. So no matter what, every superstar on the planet has to go and help your boy LeBron win. Let me make sure we're clear before we're something here. The same way you guys keep how you're dissing all these players, just like Jimmy. You guys should talk about Jimmy, right? When Jimmy made in 1 year brought his team. You were saying that he was a problem. You said on the show. You said he's a problem, just like how you're saying Durant. Oh, he wants to be the man. Kyrie left because he wants to be the man. There's all these negative things. The only reason these guys are going and stacking the debt, which I don't like Brooklyn. I'm going to make sure we get to that. But I don't like Brooklyn whatsoever. And any person who thinks they like basketball and tells you they're a Brooklyn fan does not like basketball. They're not a fan of basketball. They're an imposter, and they're probably a baseball or hockey coming in and having fun. There's nothing fun about watching this stacked team. But let me make sure we're clear. Is that with LeBron, which is very rare, it's a rare situation, and it's something that happens once in a blue moon, a full moon. Is that there was a bunch of superstars that were in the same draft, because not every draft is amazing. You get 2 drafts, you get whatever. But it's rare when you get a draft that has supermax players that come in the same year, where their contracts are up at the same year, and they decide to go and sign on a team. Now, when LeBron did that with Bosh and Wade and them, it was unheard of. Even the players that could have done it, they still had a competitive drive at the point. We're not going to do what those losers did. Even then, they were still being a little stubborn. So there was a good era where even when people are trying to stack the deck, like when Carmelo tried to go with Omari to New York and when other players tried to do it, the reason why it wasn't as impactful is because in order to get a good player, you have to trade away a bunch of good players to get that good player. So you're not just signing players and making a team good. Is that right or wrong? Just right or wrong, don't go into a soliloquy, is it right or wrong? No, listen, he's making faces like he wants to talk, but you're not
I
gonna
would
talk.
digress, because you know what, funny enough that you mentioned that, because I was looking at some of the trades that your benevolent Boston Celtics made, the former.
Oh, Lord, everybody, he's not answering the question, just answer the question.
Some of the guys they traded,
Igor.
I would say weren't that great a player.
Who are we talking about?
Wally, Zerbiak, those are some of the key
What are you
point
talking
players. Talk about the trades that they.
The Garnett, Ray Allen one?
They didn't trade guys that were benevolent players in a sense, where Wally's the
What are you
one
talking
guy,
about?
the one guy I guess that I thought was a decent player back then that ended up tailing off was probably Al Jefferson. They didn't trade.
Who are you talking about?
Those trades that ended up making that Boston team where they had four.
We're not talking about Boston. And they, what four guys? Rondo was drafted, Pierce was already there. Ray Allen, they were kicking out of the league because Durant was in Seattle, they didn't want him.
They
And they
traded
traded a
the
plethora
third
of
overall
players
pick.
for Garnett.
Yeah.
They traded a whole bunch of players.
Third overall pick, I think.
Jefferson, not Green was a
Jeff
rookie,
Green
the
was the
second
third
Green.
overall
He was at
pick,
the Zach Lavina back then, young, talented, Sebastian Telfer. They had a whole bunch of guys. Even if they didn't end up in nothing, they traded away a whole bunch of players. But we're not talking about Boston. We're
question
talking
was?
about what guys, thank you, what guys were doing at that time, even when they were trying to say we have to try to gang up together, they were, when you go, like New York, that was a very good team that had, Chandler, they had Gallinari who's playing good. They had a whole bunch of players, and you had to trade them all to get one hog of a player, Carmelo Anthony.
And it made them
That's
worse
not gonna work.
almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, at the time, it was really, it was the stars aligned for Miami, where you had stars where they could just sign and then
Give up
reconstruct
nothing.
your contract and give up nothing. And what I'm saying is,
Two guys, technically.
well, you said, okay, you brought two guys, but they brought a whole bunch. They got Battier, they got Ray Allen, Ray Allen came the second year, they got Mike Miller, they went and took a whole bunch of other players that you guys forget about, that were in All-Star games just the year before, and they went and took a whole bunch of players to come and sign with them. But I won't even get into that. Now is one of the first times where everyone is now saying, forget this garbage. There's no more of this, let's play fair, and like what Portland's trying to do, what Utah's trying to do. That's rare. All these guys now, what Brooklyn's doing, which they did it to the extreme, which I don't agree with, is we are now free agents, you're buying us out, we're gonna go and do what we wanna do. And now I hear all these losers talking about, oh, they wanna go against LeBron. You already had your reign with gunpowder. We were using bow and arrows. Now we got guns and you're complaining? Now you want us to go back to bow and arrows? No, no, no. You've been using gunpowder, now we can shoot too. And now you're gonna lose because you're not that good anyway. And your injured player, Anthony Davis, isn't gonna save you. And there's no other players that are gonna come. The only players that can possibly save their lives before LeBron retires is if they get Beal somehow, or if they get DeRozan somehow. There's no more superstars that are beta enough to go under LeBron's wing where he gets all the credit. There's none. I didn't know Anthony Davis was such a beta, but he is. There's no more superstars left in this league that will say, let me help LeBron win a ring. There's nothing left.
Because that generation is.
It's over. That's the it's over. So he's
generation.
finished. And we're gonna see, just like your boy Draymond Green is going to the Hall of Fame. It's over for your boy LeBron. It's only Bradley
I
Beal.
think I've been hearing this last like 5 years.
Bradley
and that's
Beal,
it.
Bradley Beal, and DeMar DeRozan. And because DeRozan's from LA, they can trick him from coming. There's no other player. That's it. It's over for you.
They just signed
Okay.
Andre Drummond like a week or two ago.
Okay, so he's your hope? Because as soon as they make the playoffs, you're gonna make fun of him.
I just want to get this straight. So is this Lakers team better this year or last year?
Brother, what team?
No, are the Lakers better this year than they were last year?
When healthy.
When healthy?
When healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely they are.
It's
not even a question. My opinion. Absolutely.
At the beginning of the year, I said no.
They both suck.
They both suck. The refs helped them. They helped them beat Portland in the playoffs. They helped them beat Denver in
We
the
talked
playoffs.
about the Portland, because we talked about
They
it.
cheated.
Because I
You
remember
know
I
LA's not a good team. You know LA's not a good
Come
team.
on.
You
Lose
know
center
LA is not a
position,
good
Dwight Howard, and JaVale McGee, they're gone. Replaced by Montrezl, who's a dog. I love that guy. And again, then now you got Drummond in there. Gasol. He's old. I'm not a real fan. Danny Green was hitting bricks all over the place.
Who did they replace Danny Green with?
At the end of the day, you end up with Schroeder. You end up with their team is much.
So the only
better
two
than
players,
last
I
year.
knew you were gonna do it, I was listening to you carefully, the only two players you named is
Schroeder,
yeah, those only two players.
Errol, and
That
Drummond.
makes it better.
That's
Drummond
a
came
huge
2 weeks
difference.
ago, and he played with 1 foot, and he played for half a quarter, so who's the team
Well,
that
he's
makes
better
it
now.
better?
He's better now. He messed
So
up
the
his
team,
toe.
so you're telling me the team that won the NBA finals, you trade all those players away, they were nothing?
No, I'm saying that the team last year compared to this team
The
is
team
better.
last year won the NBA finals, so why are all those players gone? Let me tell you why, because they weren't needed, because they don't have the pinstripe jerseys, it doesn't matter. Give me anybody, as long as you have the rest, you're good. Then why do you have all the guys?
I was wondering if they
So they beat Miami and gave
I've never
them
seen
like
that.
40
You
points
guys,
and
someone
the
trade
rest.
away all your players after winning a ring?
No, but like
The rest helped them, come on.
But why do you think that they needed to reshuffle this time?
So was it the refs
No,
help
because the league
The
still
Nuggets
called
beat-
LeBron and said, you gotta do something, because I can't help you like this again. Just kidding, I'm asking questions. You better get this team better. People,
We exhausted all avenues.
cheated poor Denver like of epic proportion. Everybody knows what we did.
Cheated.
Jumping on Joker's back. Joker couldn't even get to the free throw line. Dwight Howard pushing him, hitting him, attacking him. What's his name?
Dwight Howard's
LeBron's allowed to
mercenary.
hold Murray at his jersey at his hip at half court for a full game. Murray was averaging 50 points a game. And you think LeBron
Still
was
couldn't
trying
beat
to
him.
spell defense?
Still couldn't beat him. So, yeah. At the end of
I
the-
don't trust Denver either, but that was appalling.
And and again, we
That was
can
appalling.
go through the situation. The likely matchup, from what I can see, it'll probably end up being the Brooklyn Nets against the Lakers in the finals because